like it's already 7:02. I don't know why I'm not You're already here.
Everyone stand up for the Arati.
We're just not using that. We have two mridangas. We don't need it.
Did you turn on the streaming?
Yeah.
हरे कृष्णा हरे अर्जुन ये चालू करके बेटा देख कौन सा वाला है This is number 4. Shivam tell him it's 4.
Yeah, he's numbering number 4.
शुरू नहीं किया है ऑल्टर खोला ही नहीं कौन है ये ऑल्टर पे ऑलरेडी 7:05
He said 5 minutes.
Who was that
प्रभु
कौन थे
वो पुराने जो वो है टेम्पल के
oh yeah I saw that's what I was saying
हरे कृष्ण
फोन में से शंख बजाना है ले नहीं सकते ये वो छोड़ दो शंख का वो निकालो yeah just do it शंख का वो साउंड yeah it's okay conchial conchial sound करना वॉल्यूम पर करना that's the one that's good enough जय श्री श्री राधानील माधव भगवान की जय शिला प्रभुपाद की जय जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा श्रीला प्रभुपदा ओ जय प्रभुपदा 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 श्रीला प्रभुपदा जय गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा श्रीला गुरुदेवा ओ जय गुरुदेवा 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 श्रीला गुरुदेवा कि बजयो जयो गौरचंदेर आरती के शोभा 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 जानावी तातावाने जग मानलो जानावी तातावाने जग मानलो कि बदाखी नैनीताय चान बामे गदाधारा
गदाधारा
कि बदाखी नैनी ताय चान बामे गदाधारा
बामे गदाधारा
निकाते अद्वैदाश्रीनि वास छत्रधारा
निकटे अद्वैत श्रीनि वास छत्रधारा
कि बबोशी अचे गोराचान रत्न सिंहासने
गौराचान रत्न सिंहासने
कि बबोशी अचे गौराचान रत्न सिंहासने
कि बबोशी गौराचान रत्न सिंहासने
आरती कोरे ना ब्रह्मा आदि देवागाने
आरती कोरे ना ब्रह्मा आदि देवगाने
कि बनर हरि आदि कोरी चामर दुलाया
नर हरि आदि कोरी चमर ढुलाया
कि बनरा हरि आदि कोरी चामर दुलाया
नरा डुलाया
संजया मुकुंद बाशु घोष आदि गाया
संजय मुकुंद बासु घोषादि गाया
कि शंका बाजे घंटा बाजे बाजे करताला
शंखा बाजे घंटा बाजे बाजे करताला
कि शंका बाजे घंटा बाजे बाजे करताला
शंखा मृदंगा बाजे परम रसाला
शंका बाजे घंटा बाजे माधुर 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 बाजे
शंखा बाजे घंटा बाजे मधुर मधुर माधुर बाजे
शंका बाजे घंटा बाजे बाजे माधुर माधुर बाजे
शंखा बाजे घंटा बाजे बाजे मधुर माधुर बाजे
माधुर 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 बाजे
माधुर 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 बाजे
माधुर 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 बाजे
माधुर 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 बाजे
शंका बाजे घंटा बाजे माधुर 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 बाजे
शंखा बाजे घंटा बाजे मधुर मधुर माधुर बाजे
माधुर 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 बाजे
माधुर 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 बाजे
माधुर 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 बाजे
मधुर 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 माधुर बाजे
शंका बाजे घंटा बाजे माधुर 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 बाजे
शंखा बाजे घंटा बाजे मधुर मधुर माधुर बाजे
माधुर 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 बाजे
माधुर 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 बाजे
माधुर 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 बाजे
माधुर 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 बाजे
गौरंगे आरती के शोभा जग जन मान लोबा
गौरंगे आरतिक शोभा जग जन मान लो
जग जन मान लोबा
जग जन मान लो
गौरंगे आरती के शोभा जग जन मान लोबा
गौरंगे आरतिक शोभा जग जन मान लो
जग जन मान लोबा
जग जन मान
जय गौरानिताय जय गौरानिताय गौरानिताय जय गौरानिताय
गौरानिताय जय गौरानिताय गौरानिताय जय गौरानिताय
ओ जय गौरानिताय 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 जय गौरानिताय
गौरानिताय गौरानिताय गौरानिताय जय गौरानिताय
ओ जय गौरा चंदेर गौरा चंदेर गौरा चंदेर जय गौरा चंदेर
गौरा चंदे गौरा चंदे गौरा चंदे जय गौरा चंदे
जय गौरा चंदेर जय गौरा चंदेर जय गौरा चंदेर जय गौरा चंदेर
गौरा चंदे जय गौरा चंदे जय गौरा चंदे जय
किब बहु कोटि चंद्रजीनी वदन उज्ज्वला
कोटि चंद्रजीनी वदन उज्ज्वला
किब बहु कोटि चंद्रजीनी वदन उज्ज्वला
बहु कोटि चंद्रजीनी वदन उज्ज्वला
गला देसे बनमाला कोरे जलमाला
गला देसे बनमाला कोरे जलमाला
किब शिवा शुखा नारदा प्रेमे गदा गदा
शिवा शुक नारदा प्रेमे गदा गदा
किब शिवा शुखा नारदा प्रेमे गदा गदा
शिवा शुक नारदा प्रेमे गदा गदा
बकति विनोदा देखे गौरारा संपादा
कति विनोदा देखे गौरारा संपादा
बकति विनोदा देखे गौरारा संपादा
कति विनोदा देखे गौरारा संपादा
कि बजयो जयो गौरा चंदेर आरती के शोभा
जय गौरा चंदे आरती का शोभा
जानावी तातावाने जग मन लोबा
जानवी तटावाने जग मन लोभा
जानावी तातावाने जग मन लोबा
जानवी तटावाने जग मन लोभा
जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंदा
जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंदा
जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंदा
जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंदा
गौर भक्त वृंदा गौर भक्त वृंदा
गौर भक्त वृंदा गौर भक्त वृंदा
गौर भक्त वृंदा गौर भक्त वृंदा गौर भक्त वृंदा गौर भक्त वृंदा
गौर भक्त वृंदा गौर भक्त वृंदा
श्री अद्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंद
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 गोविंद बोलो हरि गोपाल बोलो
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 ओ गोविंद बोलो हरि गोपाल बोलो
गोविंद बोलो हरि गोपाल बोलो
बोलो राधा रमन हरि गोविंद बोलो
राधा रमन हरि गोविंद बोलो
राधा रमन हरि गोविंद बोलो
राधा रमन हरि गोविंद बोलो
राधे राधे बोलो कृष्णा कृष्णा बोलो
राधे राधे बोलो कृष्ण कृष्ण बोलो
बोलो राधे राधे बोलो कृष्णा कृष्णा बोलो
राधे राधे बोलो कृष्ण कृष्ण बोलो
ओ राधे राधे बोलो कृष्णा कृष्णा बोलो
राधे राधे बोलो कृष्ण कृष्ण बोलो
ओ कृष्णा कृष्णा बोलो राधे राधे बोलो
कृष्ण कृष्ण बोलो राधे राधे बोलो
बोलो राधा रमन हरि गोविंद बोलो
राधा रमन हरि गोविंद बोलो
राधा रमन हरि गोविंद बोलो
राधा रमन हरि गोविंद बोलो
हरिहराय नमः कृष्ण यादवाय नमः
हराय नमः कृष्ण यादवाय नमः
यादवाय माधवाय केशवाय नमः
यादवाय माधवाय केशवाय नमः
गोपाल गोविंद राम श्री मधुसूदना
गोपाल गोविंद राम श्री मधुसूदन
गिरिधरि गोपीनाथ मदन मोहन
गिरिधारी गोपीनाथ मदन मोहन
श्री चैतन्य नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत सीता
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 हरि गुरु वैष्णव भगवत गीता हरि गुरु वैष्णव भगवत गीता श्री रूप सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ श्री रूप सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ श्री जीवा गोपाला भट्ट दास रघुनाथ
श्री जीवा गोपाल भट्ट दास रघुनाथ
गोपाला भट्ट दास रघुनाथ
श्री जीवा गोपाल भट्ट दास रघुनाथ
हरे कृष्णा ओ कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम ओ राम राम हरे हरे बोलो बोलो
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
निताय गौरा हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौरा हरि बोल
निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल
जय राधा नील माधव श्री राधे
राधा नील माधव श्री राधे
जय राधे जय राधे जय राधे जय श्री राधे
जय राधे जय राधे जय राधे जय
श्री राधे नमस्ते नरसिंहाय
नमस्ते नरसिंहाय
नमस्ते नरसिंहाय
नमस्ते नरसिंहाय प्रह्लादलाददायिने प्रह्लादलाददायिने प्रसाददायिने
हिरण्यकशिपोर्वक्षः
पूर्वक्षः
शीलटङ्कानकालाय
शीलाटङ्कानखालये
इतो नरसिंह परतो नरसिंह
तो नरसिंहो परतो नरसिंहो
इतो नरसिंह परतो नरसिंह
तो नरसिंहो परतो नरसिंहो
यतो यतो यामिततो नरसिंह
तो यामि ततो नरसिंहो
बहिर्नरसिंह हृदये नरसिंह
हृदये नरसिंह
नरसिंह आदिम शरणं प्रपदे
ममदिम शरणम प्रपद्ये
तव करकमलावरे नकाम् अद्भुत शृङ्गां दलित हिरण्यकशिपु तनुभृङ्गा केशवधृता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे
तव कर कमलवरे नखाम् अद्भुत शृङ्गां दलित हिरण्यकशिपु तनुभृङ्गा केशवधृता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे
जय केशवधृता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय केशवधृता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव जय
नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंह
जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय भक्त प्रहलाद जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय भक्त प्रहलाद
प्रहलाद महाराज जय भक्त प्रहलाद जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय भक्त प्रहलाद
जय जगन्नाथा जय बलदेवा जय सुभद्रा माँ जय सुदर्शना
जय जगन्नाथा जय बलदेवा जय सुभद्रा माँ जय सुदर्शन
ओ जय सीताराम जय लक्ष्मण हनुमान जय सीताराम जय लक्ष्मण हनुमान
जय सीताराम जय लक्ष्मण हनुमान जय सीताराम जय लक्ष्मण हनुमान
निताय गौरा हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौरा हरि बोल
निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल
जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद
जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद
जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय जय गुरुदेव
जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय जय गुरुदेव
जय श्री विघ्नहर्ता नरसिंहदेव भगवान की भक्त प्रहलाद महाराज की शिला प्रभुपाद की जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्रजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शता श्री श्रीमद हिज डिवाइन के शिला एसी भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी महाराज प्रभुपाद की जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्रजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शता श्री श्रीमद भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी महाराज प्रभुपाद की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की, नामाचार्य हरिदास ठाकुर की, प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद, जय अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद की, श्री श्री राधा कृष्णा गोपा गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की, वृंदावन धाम की, मथुरा धाम की, नवदीप मायापुर धाम की, जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की, गंगा माई की, यमुना माई की, तुलसी देवी भक्ति देवी की, सामवेद भक्त वृंद की, गौर प्रेमानंदे, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga, all glories to Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada की जय। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपदाय भूतले श्रीमति भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी नमः। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचार्य निर्विशेष शून्य पाशते तारिणी, जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद, श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद की जय।
Radhika, come on, sit down, sit down, sit down. Uh-oh. Okay, sit down, come on. That's it, come on. See, that she listens to me. I just put it on like this, and I can take it off. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Okay. Who's who? Oh, that is my Guru Dev. His name is Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. And he initiated me and thousands of other people.
Is he alive right now?
Well, you know, he left his body, but he never dies because he's left all these books with all the knowledge in it. So,
You know when he died?
yeah, he died in 1977.
1977.
Yeah. But he's not really dead because we have all his lectures and tapes and things like that, so we can hear him speak and give lectures. So people like him never really died. They're always engaged. And by the way, nobody dies. It's only the body that dies, not the soul. Your soul is eternal. People think, oh, you're dead. No, you don't die. You can't die. You have an eternal soul. But that doesn't mean you can be irresponsible with your body. You have to, you have to take care of your body. And but at the same time, you should understand that you have an eternal soul. And the goal of life is to liberate yourself from the cycle of birth and death and go back to the spiritual world where we all came from originally. And the way to do that is very simple. The previous years it was very difficult, but now it's very easy. All you have to do is chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So if you chant Hare Krishna all the time, then you'll be able to remember Krishna at the moment of death and you go back to Godhead. So always remember and repeat after me. Practice makes perfect.
Practice makes perfect.
Yes. Therefore, if you practice chanting Hare Krishna, then you'll easily be able to remember Krishna at the moment of death. And if you don't chant Hare Krishna, you won't be able to remember Krishna at the moment of death. And you have to stay in the material world many more births and deaths and suffer. So practice makes perfect. So you just can't keep chanting Hare Krishna throughout your life. And at the moment of death, you remember Krishna. Okay? You promise? Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Take that off. Hare Krishna. Okay. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesa Sunyavadi Paskatya Desatarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Maha Mantra Ki Jai. If you're wondering why I always have Radhika the cow with me whenever I give a lecture in the temple, and by the way, if you want her to come to your house, we take Radhika to people's houses also. Today we took her to someone's house, and they didn't want her to leave. Okay, so by chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, you'll make friends with Radhika because she likes very much to hear the holy names of Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Is that right, Radhika? Is that right? Yeah, you see, she puts her ears open like that. That means it was right. Okay. So today we're going to hear from the Bhagavad Gita, and Bhagavad Gita chapter 9 and text number 13. And you can repeat from me. Mahatmanas tu mam parta daivim pakritim asrita bhajanti ananya manaso gyatva bhutadim avyayam. All right, so you can repeat after me. Mahatmanas, okay, I'm sorry. Mahatmanas tumam parta daivim prakritim asritaha bhajanti ananya manaso gyatva bhutadim avyayam. Now this verse says, O son of Prita, that means, O Arjuna, those who are not deluded, the great souls, are under the protection of the divine nature. They are fully engaged in devotional service because they know me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, original and inexhaustible. Okay, and in the explanation of this verse, His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada says, in this verse, the description of the Mahatma is clearly given. Mahatma means a very exalted soul, a very exalted person. Those who are not deluded, the great souls, are under the protection of the divine nature. They are fully engaged in devotional service because they know me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, original and inexhaustible. So in the explanation it says, in this verse, the description of the Mahatma is clearly given. The first sign of the Mahatma is that he is already situated in the divine nature. He is not under the control of material nature. Now, how can you recognize if a person is controlled by the material nature and a person who's not controlled by the material nature? Well, the person who's controlled by the material nature, they cannot give up sense gratification. Now, of course, we have different senses: eyes, ears, nose, tongue, skin, and so forth. So people who are not able to control the senses indulge in meat eating, gambling, illicit sex, intoxication, sometimes lying, sometimes cheating, and so forth. They're not capable of controlling themselves. And because of that, they violate the basic laws of spiritual life, and therefore they suffer unnecessarily. Unnecessarily. And the way that one can become free of that, let's say, suffering, is to just take up Krishna consciousness, which is, it's much easier to follow the rules and regulations of Krishna consciousness than to break them. If you break the rules of Krishna consciousness, then you're always going to be in anxiety, you're always going to have problems, and you're always going to think that nobody likes you, and you feel alone, you feel lonely, etc. But if you follow the principles of Krishna consciousness, life becomes very easy. Why? Because Krishna will protect you. He says, Kunteya pratijanihi nami bhakta pranasiti. Declare it boldly, Arjuna, that my devotee never perishes. So, when you take an interest in Krishna, Krishna takes an interest in you. When he takes an interest in you, all your problems go away. Now, you don't have to be a rocket engineer to understand this. And taking an interest in Krishna is very simple. You simply come to the temple and hear lectures given by genuine devotees, and you learn how to chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And you hear lectures given by devotees, bona fide devotees, and you have prasadam, and you dance and worship Radha and Krishna. And the best way to worship Radha and Krishna is by chanting Hare Krishna. By chanting Hare Krishna, you actually glorify them. They like very much hearing their holy names repeated, and that way they become, or you become endeared to the deities by chanting the holy names, and they become endeared to you because you're chanting their names. The name of Krishna and Krishna are non-different. It's not like Coca-Cola. You can chant Coca-Cola all day long. You'll never taste Coca-Cola. There's a difference between the word Coca-Cola and the substance Coca-Cola. But there's no difference between the name of Krishna and Krishna himself. Therefore, by chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, you come directly in touch with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. It's very easy. In fact, it's easier to be Krishna conscious than not to be Krishna conscious. Because when you're not Krishna conscious, most people, they get confused. And then they develop bad habits, meat eating, gambling, illicit sex, intoxication, lying, cheating, and so forth. And their life just becomes miserable. But if you follow the rules and regulations of Krishna consciousness, no meat eating, no gambling, no illicit sex, no intoxication, and chant Hare Krishna, all of a sudden, all your problems go away. I can guarantee that. And your problems will go away, and you will also feel the touch of Krishna in your life. Krishna will protect you in every difficult situation you might be in, and he'll give you knowledge to make the right decisions. We're all always faced with making decisions in life. Should I do this? Should I do that? However, by praying to Krishna, he reveals knowledge. So this is revelation theology. Theology means spiritual life, and revelation means Krishna reveals to you because he's in your heart. He's actually the closest person to us. No one else is closer to us than Krishna because he's right in our heart as the Paramatma. And therefore, if you take an interest in Krishna, he'll immediately take an interest in you, and all your problems go away. It's that simple. It's not complicated. People like to make things complicated. Just like if you ask a complicated person, where is your nose? They'll say, oh, my nose. Oh, yeah, I'll show you where it is. There it is, right there. Well, that's complete nonsense, right? The nose is right there, but he'll go this way, that way, and it's like the politicians. You ask them a simple question and make a whole, speech about this thing, that thing, and so forth. So we don't have time to hear nonsense. What we need is to get the right answers, easily explained and directly given, so we don't waste any time. So all you need to have a successful life is two things. Eat only Krishna prasadam. That's vegetarian food, offered with love and devotion to Krishna. And number 2, chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. That's why it's called Mahamantra, the great mantra for liberation from the cycle of birth and death. Because the real problem of life is birth and death. Nobody likes to get old, get sick, and die. However, we're forced to do that. So until you ask the question, why is this happening to me? If you don't ask that question, you're not really, let's say, conscious. Yeah, of course, you're eating every day, you're sleeping every day, but you're also suffering every day. But if you ask the question, why am I suffering? Then your spiritual life will start from that point. And therefore, you have to find out genuine devotees who can explain to you very clearly and easily why you're suffering. We're suffering because we are committing sinful activities without knowing it. And because of that, we are developing karma, and because of that karma, we are suffering. Just like when you drive a car, you kill hundreds and thousands of living entities without even knowing it. You walk down the street, you kill some living entities. You breathe, you kill some living entities. You clean your house, you kill some, you use different types of things like Clorox or other things like that to clean the house. You kill living entities. So all that killing gives us what's called karma debt. And that's why bad things happen to good people. Bad things happen to good people because they're unwittingly committing sinful activities. Therefore, it's very good to come to the temple and hear lectures given by bona fide devotees so that you don't unwittingly commit sinful activities. Therefore, we are always talking about how to please Krishna. Now, if you please Krishna, he exonerates you from sinful activities. Therefore, the number one way to please Krishna is to chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And this mantra is made up of 3 words, Hare, Krishna, and Rama. So Hare refers to Srimati Radharani, and Krishna, of course, refers to Krishna, and Rama, it refers to Sita and Rama. So when you chant this mantra, you're actually glorifying Radha and Krishna and Sita and Rama. So that's a very wonderful thing to do. And they take notice because Krishna is in the heart of every living entity. So when you chant his names, he notices it. And he says, oh, this person is interested in me. Now I will take an interest in that person. That's the beginning of spiritual life. It can happen when you're only a little child, maybe 2 years old, and the child begins to say, Hare Krishna. Oh, right away, they're going to make spiritual advancement. In fact, even if you only say the name of Krishna once in your life, either by accident or purposely, Hare Krishna, at least you'll get a human birth in the next life. So the benefit of chanting Hare Krishna is always positive. There's nothing negative about it. Okay, so today's verse says, Mahatmanas tumam parta daivim pakritim asritaha bhajanti ananya manaso gyatva bhutarim avyayam. Maybe you can repeat after me. Mahatmanas tumam partha daivim prakritim asritaha bhajanti ananya manaso gyatva bhutadim avyayam. The translation of that in English is, O son of Prita, meaning Arjuna, those who are not deluded the great souls, are under the protection of the divine nature. They are fully engaged in devotional service because they know me, meaning Krishna, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, original and inexhaustible. So let's just go over that translation again. Krishna says, those who are not deluded, the great souls, are under the protection of the divine nature. Okay, right away, if you are engaged in simple activities of devotion to Krishna, you're going to be protected by the divine nature. That means by Krishna himself. So, right away, it's a very significant statement. That's the best, let's say, insurance policy you could ever have. Krishna will protect you, and he's promising that in this verse. And he says, they are fully engaged in devotional service because they know me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, original and inexhaustible. Yeah, that's what we learn when we come to the temple. We learn that Krishna, that we should engage in devotional service. That means we should only eat vegetarian food that's first offered with love and devotion to Krishna, and then he offers it back as his prasad. Prasad means his mercy. Then, now, if you eat only prasadam, then you are sanctified. In fact, if you just chant Hare Krishna and eat only prasadam, you can go back to Godhead very easily. Just those two things. It's not, you don't have to do any more than that. It's simply chant Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Now you have Krishna's attention by chanting Hare Krishna because he's in your heart. And he says, oh, now he's chanting Hare Krishna. He's not chanting Hallelujah or whatever. He's chanting my names, so I'm going to take an interest in him. And then you eat only prasadam, and Krishna becomes even more happy. He says, oh, he's eating my prasad. That means that he is becoming free from all sinful acts. So the reason people suffer is because they have committed sins in their previous life and in this life. And most of the sins that they committed, they didn't even know they were sins. So they didn't know that if you drink wine or whiskey, it's a sin. Or if you smoke marijuana, it's a sin. They didn't know that illicit sex is a sin. And there's so many things that we don't know that are sinful. Therefore, when we unnecessarily suffer due to ignorance and not understanding the difference between sinful activity and spiritual activity, we unnecessarily suffer because we're violating the rules of Krishna consciousness. It's just like a person comes from England, where they drive on the left-hand side, and they come to, let's say, France, where they drive on the right-hand side. But the person from England, he continues driving on the left-hand side when he gets to France. And then the policeman stops him, and he says, and the man says, sir, why did you stop me? He says, well, you're violating our rules. He said, what rule is that? He said, we drive on the right-hand side. We don't drive on the left-hand side. He said, well, I'm from England, I'm used to driving on the left-hand side. He said, okay, you can say that, but you're going to get a ticket, and if you continue, I'll put you in jail. You see? So, ignorance is never an excuse. You might get away with it one time, but more than one time, it's no longer an excuse. Just like everybody knows that meat eating, gambling, illicit sex, intoxication are not good things. They know it. But yet, they do it. Why? Because they can't control their mind and their senses. And so the first thing we learn in Krishna consciousness is how to give up sinful activities and only engage in spiritual activities. Now you have knowledge, and now you have relief from ignorance. Ignorance means unwittingly you commit all kinds of sinful activities, and unnecessarily you suffer. But when you get educated, then you avoid those type of activities and you take up only spiritual activities for the pleasure of Krishna. Now you have become an enlightened person. The most everything kids learn in school is ignorance, and the two main things they learn is one, you only live once, and two, when you die, there's nothing. But both of those points are not correct. It's not that you only live once, and when you die, there's nothing. That's not true either. There's life after death. Because we have an eternal soul. That's another thing kids don't learn. They don't learn that the soul is eternal. They think they just have a body, and one day the body will die, and there's nothing after that. All that is nonsense. It's not true. It's false narratives. And because of that, false education, you only live once, and when you die, there's nothing. People commit sinful activities unwittingly and destroy their possibility of being happy and, of course, being able to remember Krishna at the moment of death and go back to Godhead. So the most important moment in the life of a devotee is the moment of death. That's when they see Krishna and they go back to the spiritual world because they've been practicing Krishna consciousness all their life. And simply by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So, what could be more easier than this? This is so easy. In Krishna consciousness, you do three main things. You chant Hare Krishna, you dance, and you eat prasadam to your full satisfaction. Is that difficult? No, it's the easiest thing in the world. But people say sometimes, oh, that's too easy. Give me something harder to do, see? But no, we don't need to have anything harder. Already it's difficult to regulate yourself to always chant Hare Krishna, eat only prasadam, and hear lectures by genuine devotees and so forth. That's, for some people, that's almost impossible. But once you start doing that, your whole life changes. And you're able to not be disturbed by whatever is happening in the material world because you have given up sinful life. And sins are it's very easy to understand what the sins are. There's four major sins: meat eating, gambling, illicit sex, and intoxication. Now, previously in India, let's say you go back 100 years, everybody knew that meat eating, gambling, illicit sex is not right. It's sinful. Therefore, they refrain from it, right? But today, unfortunately, there are many Hindus that eat meat, they gamble, they have illicit sex, and they intoxicate. They'll smoke, or they'll smoke marijuana, whatever. So what has happened to India or Indians? They're losing the principles of Sanatana Dharma. And why? They're being educated wrongly. In our schools today, their education is junk. Junk, absolutely junk. You don't really get a education anymore. You get an indoctrination, how to become a sense gratifier throughout the rest of your life. So sense gratification, well, it's not a good thing because if you gratify your senses, then you're no longer in control of yourself. But if you gratify the senses of Krishna, then you're in control of yourself. So Krishna has senses just like we do. So if we use our senses to please the senses of Krishna, now you're having a spiritual life. But if you use your senses only for your selfish desires, meat eating, gambling, illicit sex, etc., you ruin your life. So anyway, Have you ever heard this before? Huh? Yeah? Yeah, not in school. They don't teach this. You ever hear this before in school? No. In fact, they tell you you have to eat, they give you this, what is it, a pyramid of food, right? On the bottom of the real base of the whole pyramid, meat. You say, so there's complete misinterpretation of the truth. Meat eating is very sinful, but there's massive meat eating going on. Even in India, there's massive meat going on today. You see, because people have lost the Sanatan Dharma, and they're engaging in all kinds of sinful activities, unfortunately. But Krishna consciousness, given to us by His divine grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, is to eliminate all these sinful activities in our life. Most people don't even know it's sinful. Most people don't even know eating meat is sinful, or having illicit sex is sinful, or gambling is sinful, or smoking is sinful. They don't know that. So they need to get real education. Just like a child doesn't know that if they play with matches, they could injure themselves or set the house on fire, you see, because they don't know. They have to be educated. So there are many things we don't know because we have never been educated properly. The first thing a child should learn in school is that they have an eternal soul. The body is temporary, the soul is eternal. Most kids are never taught that. Therefore, they think that sense gratification for the body is the purpose of life. And that is false. It's not true. However, if you use your senses to please the senses of Krishna, now see, Krishna's standing right here. He has senses. He has eyes, ears, nose, tongue, skin, everything, just like we do. So if we stop trying to please our senses in a selfish way and use our senses to please Krishna's senses, now we have a spiritual life. You see how easy it is? We just have to understand that the purpose of life is to please Krishna. Then all our problems go away, because then Krishna will protect you. He'll give you knowledge, and you'll be able to make the right decisions in life. It's very simple. It's not complicated. However, these things are not being taught. The opposite are being taught. Oh, meat gives you good protein. Well, wait a minute. The elephant, the strongest animal in the world, never ate meat. How did it get to be so strong? You tell me. What do elephants eat? Do they eat steaks and burgers and things like that? No. Do they eat other animals? No. The elephant just eats, leaves and things like that. The elephants are not carnivores, but yet they're some of the strongest animals in the whole universe, right? So we should learn by watching nature. Just like the elephant doesn't eat meat, but yet he's the strongest animal in the world. How did he get that strength? Simply by the vegetation that he eats. The number one, let's say, source of protein is vegetables. Now, some people might argue, no, it's this, it's that, it's meat. No, meat is a secondary thing. The primary thing are the vegetables. So, and especially greens. If you eat only greens, you'll be very strong and you'll be very healthy. Right? So, the meat is a secondary type of food. It's not a primary food. And the proof is that, for example, you look at Radhika. She's getting bigger now every day and getting stronger. What are we feeding her? We're only feeding her grass. and milk. That's it. And she's very healthy, very strong, and she'll get to be a big cow, and full of muscles and power just by drinking milk and eating uh, grass. See? Oh, by the way, grass is very nutritious. The only problem with grass for human beings is human beings cannot digest the cellulose that's in grass. But an animal like Radhika can digest the cellulose because cows have 4 stomachs. So they'll eat something like grass and then they'll bring it back again from their stomach and keep chewing it. So you'll see when they have some spare time, they re-chew what they ate already, and they eventually are able to digest the cellulose. We're not able to digest the cellulose, and we definitely are not going to regurgitate the grass and chew it some more. But that's what the cows do. You see. So we can learn a lot of lessons by watching nature, things in nature. See. So the cow doesn't eat meat. It's not a meat eater. It's not like a lion, right? But yeah, cows are very strong, right? How did they get so strong? Simply by eating grass. See. The elephant doesn't eat meat, and elephants are some of the strongest animals in the whole world, right? They eat a lot of grass and leaves and things like that. You probably would, if you had an elephant as a pet, you probably would go bankrupt because they eat about 400 pounds of vegetation a day, But because of that, they become very, very strong. So there's a lot of things we have to learn. Is that right, Radhika? Yeah. Okay, so I said a bunch of things now. I don't want to speak too much. Do you have any questions? I can't believe that you agree with everything I said. So do you have any questions that you would like to ask? And always understand that you never learn by remaining silent. You only learn by asking questions. And if there's no questions, there's no answers, and you don't remember anything of the class. But if you ask a question and get the answer, you'll probably remember what the question that you asked and the answer that you got. So are there any questions anyone would like to ask? Yes. Hey, 1 second. You're getting the microphone?
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Dandvat Pranam, Jai Prabhupada. Guru Maharaj, I have this question that Krishna is everywhere. Krishna is Paramatma in our heart. And recently...
that should be the first thing you teach your child. You see, that's the first thing children should learn. That God is in their heart, the closest person to them. If they learn that one thing, that'll lead to them avoiding a lot of problems in life. Okay, go ahead.
And Krishna's pure devotees, they also carry Radha Krishna. They are like walking, talking temple. But then why do we feel a special attraction for Vrindavan?
Well, because Krishna is in Vrindavan. Wherever Krishna is, you'll feel a natural attraction. You see, so Vrindavan is Krishna's. It's his house. It's where he is. So when you go to Vrindavan, everything in Vrindavan is focused on Radha and Krishna. You see, you've been to Vrindavan?
Yeah.
So did you think about Krishna when you were there?
I don't have to, because Krishna is there at every step. Like, it just feels like Krishna is there everywhere
Well,
in
that answers
Vrindavan.
your question then.
So my question is that Krishna is there everywhere, like through Krishna is sitting in everybody's heart as Paramatma, and Krishna is omnipresent. He is present everywhere. But then,
No, wait a minute. You're not following. When you're in Vrindavan, most people are chanting the names of Krishna, much more than if you were in downtown Seattle, right? And everything is directed toward Krishna consciousness in Vrindavan, you know. So you also feel, more inspired to chant Hare Krishna there, because everybody else is chanting. Most people are chanting Hare Krishna. It's not like going to UW. How many people are chanting Hare Krishna in UW? If there's one, they're probably hiding in the toilet chanting Hare Krishna, so nobody hears them. So so it's natural that you chant Hare Krishna in Vrindavan, but when you're in public in the United States, you probably are not going to be chanting Hare Krishna out in public, unless you go on Harinam Sankirtan. Okay, so what is your question again?
I think you answered it, Maharaj. I was just thinking, like, why, if Krishna is everywhere, if Krishna is omnipresent, then why do we feel Krishna's presence at every step in Vrindavan? Like, why do we feel so much attraction for Vrindavan then?
Because everybody's
then-
chanting Hare
yeah.
Krishna.
Yes.
Right. Okay, now let me give you an example. Now we have a food truck, right? Now, whenever we hand a plate of hot, fresh prasadam, what do you say? You do it all the time. What do you say?
Hare Krishna.
Okay. And what do the people say?
Hare Krishna.
Well, not in the beginning, but the regulars, they figure it out. They say, "Well, he's saying Hare Krishna. Maybe I should say Hare Krishna also." You see. So when you are in the association of people who are always saying Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, eventually you'll say Hare Krishna also. Like, for example, whenever I answer the phone, I say Hare Krishna. Right. Now some people say, "What was that?" And I explain to them. And other people, they say, okay. Well, anyway, I want to speak to you. But eventually, if they keep calling me, and every time I say Hare Krishna, they catch it. And I say Hare Krishna, they say, "Oh, Hare Krishna," you see. And that's what happened at the food truck also, right? In the beginning, nobody said Hare Krishna, but they keep coming, and they get the nice prasadam, and then they figure out, oh, this is what they do. They say Hare Krishna. I'll say it also.
Most of the people, Maharaj, most of the people, they say Hare Krishna now, like majority of them.
Yeah, the regulars.
Regular people.
Yeah. They learned.
And one time, Maharaj, I missed to say to one person, he said very loudly to me. I feel like I woke up.
Yeah. So you see, when you are in Krishna consciousness, the main thing we do in Krishna consciousness, or basically two main things we do, we chant Hare Krishna and we eat prasadam. Right? And that's all you have to do to go back to Godhead. Chant Hare Krishna and eat only prasadam. And eat as much as you want. That's okay. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Any other questions? Any other questions anybody may have? Yes, brother.
Before, I also want to make a comment about the food truck. People get attracted to it because it's part of Krishna. Like, people come regularly, look for it. Whenever I stop, I have 5 people in front of me, and I look out the window after I stop, I got like 20 people. They come out of nowhere. They are very attracted to it.
So the truck is a magnet.
Well, I'm saying Krishna is the magnet. The
Yeah.
prasadam's the magnet. But
Right.
like, when the truck's there, they immediately go. They're ready.
That's wonderful. Hare Bol.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Yes, brother.
So you said that Krishna always protects his devotees, but I think before Ajamel fell down, he was a devotee of Krishna. So why did
Ajamil.
yes?
Yeah.
So why did Krishna not protect him from falling down?
Well, if you know the history of Ajamil, yeah, up to 16 he was a good devotee. Then he saw a low-class man and woman having sex, and became, let's say, developed his lustiness, and then he engaged most of his life in sense gratification, right? And he had 10 sons. The last son he named Narayan. Why? Because when he was up to 16, he was a devotee. So he knew about the name Narayana. So he gave his son's name Narayana. And then one day he was getting older, and he was with his son. The youngest son was named Narayana. And he had a heart attack, and the last thing he said was, Narayana, and he died. Right? So, because he had become so sinful, the Yamadutas came to take him to hell. But the Vishnu Dutas came and said, wait a minute, you can't take him, he's our man. And they said, what do you mean he's your man? Look at his rap sheet, you know. And they showed him all the sins he committed. No, he said Narayana at the moment of death. He said he didn't mean Narayana, Narayana. He was calling his son. He said, it doesn't matter. The holy name is absolute. So the followers of the persons who were following, who were not, didn't understand this, they went to see their boss. Their boss is Yamaraj, right? And they were the Yamadutas, and they asked Yamaraj, they said, look, a funny thing happened today. There was this man that was very simple. He had a heart attack or something, and we were going to take him, and these Vishnu Dutas came and stopped us, and they said, no, you can't take him, because he said Narayana at the moment of death. But yet, look at his rap sheet, you know. They said he committed all these sins, right? A big, long litany of sins. But Vishnu Dutas said, no. He said the name of Narayana at the moment of death, so he's our man. So they asked Yamaraj, is this true? And Yamaraj says, yeah, it is true. Because he said the name of God at the moment of death, all his sins were eradicated, and he has the possibility of not going to hell, but not going to the spiritual world either. But he's given a new chance to take birth again and rectify himself. So that's the power of the holy name. Just imagine if you continually chant Hare Krishna, right? Then you become completely purified, and you'll go back to Godhead in this lifetime. He only said it once, but that was enough to take care of all his sins, you know, to eradicate all his sins, but not enough to be liberated, but enough to get another life without sins. And if he develops his Krishna consciousness, then he can go back to Godhead. So we have to carefully hear these real stories from the Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita and learn from them. So there are certain things. Hare Krishna. All glory Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. So if we don't come to class, you're not going to learn any of these things. But if you come to class and we can discuss things and you can ask questions, then you learn. And if you don't ask any questions, you won't learn anything. You won't remember anything. So no questions, no answers. Ask questions, you have a good chance at remembering the question you asked and the answer that you got. So are there any other questions? Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, Dandavat Pranam, all glory to Srila Prabhupada.
Yes.
I just had a question about humility. So,
Humility.
Last week there was a lecture on being humble, and S.P. Keshav Swami Maharaj gave definition about being humble. That one of the definitions he gave was that you have the mood of a servant in every situation. You always try to serve in whichever situation. And I've also heard other sort of definitions about humility, such as when you do something good, then you don't think that like you did it. You see Krishna's hand behind. You always see Krishna behind everything. So I was just wanted to ask, in certain situations, let's say you're doing a task, and sometimes you might do a good job, sometimes you might not do a good job, and depending on that, somebody might praise or criticize you. So sometimes when you get praise and sometimes you get criticism, how can you stay humble in both of those scenarios? Or like how can you react with humility to both praise and criticism?
Okay, that's a good question. Well, the first thing you have to learn is that Krishna is in your heart. He's the witness to everything you do. He knows everything you do. And there's no secrets, right? So, like for example, a thief, the worst thing for the thief is to have a witness to what he's doing. So he has to do things to not have a witness that can, he can get prosecuted when there's a witness, right? So he'll only go out at night and, put a mask on or something and, try and rob someone or so forth. See? But when you become a devotee, you learn that God is in your heart, and he's the witness to everything we do. Now, some people might believe it, and some people don't believe it. But the people who believe it, they become devotees. They realize they can't get away with anything. One time I was talking to a man who was cheating on his wife, and I asked him, I said, "Why'd you do that?" I said, "That's not a good thing." He said, "I thought I could get away with it." You can't get away with anything, right? Ultimately, there's always a witness, and the number one witness is Krishna himself. You see, so people who are ignorant, they think they can get away with things, but ultimately, Krishna is the number one witness of everything we do. So we're eventually going to get caught. And by the way, it's much easier to follow the rules and regulations of Krishna consciousness and give up all sinful activity than to break them. Because when you break them, then you're always worried, does anybody see what I was doing? You're always going to be, looking over your shoulder to see if there's someone following you and so forth. You're always going to be in anxiety. But if you are always following Krishna consciousness, you have nothing to worry about. Okay? And it's easier to follow the rules and regulations of Krishna consciousness than to break them. To break the rules, you'll have to eat meat. That's not good. You'll have to maybe smoke marijuana. That's not good. You'll have to engage in illicit sex. That's not good. And you have to do all kinds of things that are not actually good. But if you follow Krishna consciousness, you only do good things. See? So, therefore, we should think about this carefully. Like, for example, if you eat meat, it's not a good thing to do. Just like one time I went to this person who was I had imported something, so he was the agent in the importation company, right? And his name was Vinny, right? So when we were talking, and he was making some papers, for the thing I had imported, and he was like sort of coughing and sneezing a little bit. I said, "Hey, Vinny," I said, "what's going on?" He said, "I ate some bad pork yesterday." So, pork, pigs are the most dirty animals in the world. And he was eating pig, right? So we have to learn lessons from these things, right? So he eats pigs and he gets sick, right? So what's the lesson? Don't eat pigs. But yet they sell pigs in the stores, right? You get all kinds of pig, sausages and things like that, and people think that it's good. It's not good at all, right? So we have to be educated. We should never eat meat or flesh of any animal. It's very, very sinful because somebody has to kill the animal. You say, "Oh, I didn't kill the animal." No, but you bought the animal, the dead animal, and you're eating it. So by the way, if you eat meat, everybody that's touched that meat gets sinful reactions. The person who kills the animal, the person that transports the animal, the person that sells the animal, the person that eats the animal, the person that pays for the animal. It's very, very simple to eat meat. And there are multiple sins that are committed when you eat meat. Now, there's millions of people in the United States eating meat every day, right? And then they try and figure out, how come there's so much violence in this country? How come there's wars? There's always a war going on, and then how come there's, look what's happening right now, in the southern states, getting wiped out by terrible rain and all kinds of bad weather. I mean, we're lucky here. Go down to Florida right now, you'll see. They're getting wiped out every winter. It's not even winter yet, right? So how come there's so much what you'd say bad weather in the southern states? Because they're eating too much bad pork. They're eating the wrong things. Let's put it like that, right? And they're engaging in a lot of sinful activity. Now, that doesn't mean there's no sinful activity here also. There is. But there's more sinful activity in certain places in the United States, and because of that, they have a lot of bad karma. So, therefore, when we come to the temple, we learn certain things that are very beneficial if you want to have a peaceful and happy life. Right? So, meat eating, gambling, illicit sex, intoxication, no. Don't even get close to it. Right? If someone says, "Oh, you don't know what you're missing. It's this meat is so tasty," they like to say things like that. Anybody tell you that? Yeah, in school. Oh, it tastes so good. What are they saying tastes so good? A dead body. That's what they're eating. They're eating a dead body. How can that be so good? You say. So, and by the way, raw meat by itself is not tasty at all. And dead meat, without putting a lot of ketchup and other things on it, it doesn't really taste good, right? So, I mean, I know because I used to be a butcher, before I was a devotee. And most people are just ignorant, so they don't think about what they're doing. If you drink wine, eat meat, and all that, you're committing very severe sins, and you're going to suffer. But yet, there's all kinds of television programs about how wonderful wine is, right? And how it's so healthy for you. And then there's other programs where they're glorifying meat eating. All these things are horrible. We have to learn by hearing from Krishna conscious devotees how horrible they are, and to stay away from them. And Prabhupada said once, there's no river long enough to purify a glass of wine. Now, a glass of wine is just a small thing, right? He says, there's no river long enough to purify it. That means millions and millions of gallons of water are not enough to purify that glass of wine. So just imagine what that means. It means that you'll never become free from contamination because you just drank one glass of wine. So, therefore, little by little, if we come to class regularly and read Bhagavad Gita regularly and hear lectures, you can hear Prabhupada's lectures also. We have over 3,000 lectures by Srila Prabhupada, Then you become educated and you understand, I'm not going to touch wine, I'm not going to touch liquor, I'm not going to touch marijuana, I'm not going to engage in illicit sex, I'm not going to cheat, I'm not going to lie, I'm going to live a clean life. I'm going to bathe two times a day minimum, maybe 3 times is even better. And, you learn to do a lot of good things that are very good for your health and for your mental health well-being. And you become happy, and you see positive things all the time. You're not a negative person, right? But if you engage in illicit activities, you'll become a negative person, right? You'll be a downer. You won't be an upper, you'll be a downer. So you have to decide what kind of life you want to be. But always understand you are what you eat. And if you're eating dead bodies, well, you're going to be very morose and very negative in your life. Oh, by the way, some people say, well, I don't eat red meat. I only eat fish. Wait a minute. Fish are completely contaminated. Fish are what do they eat? Like let's say you have an aquarium and you buy food for the fish, right? Do you know what food is for fish in the aquarium? You know what that food is? You don't? It's dead bugs. That's what fish eat. They eat dead bodies, right? They're not like vegetarians, eating only algae or something. They eat dead things. If you have an aquarium and you go and buy food for the fish, it's all dead like, I don't know. Anybody have an aquarium? You have an aquarium? No. You have an aquarium, sir? No. Look it up. Look at what on the internet right now. What do fish eat? If you have an aquarium and you have fish, what food do they eat? It's very good to have a cell phone. See, when you have lectures, you can look things up right away and get the answer right away. What does it say?
Worms, mollusks, insect.
Yeah, go ahead.
Fish generally eat other fish, but their diet also consists of eggs, algae, plants, crustaceans, worms, mollusks, insects, insect larvae, amphibian, and plankton.
And what?
Plankton.
Oh, plankton, yeah. So there's 2 or 3 things that are vegetarian. The rest are all meat. Right. So now, but people say, I don't eat red meat. I only eat fish because it's much healthier. What? What are you talking about? It's much healthier. Fish eat the dirtiest things in the world. They are scavengers of dead bodies, right? When something dies and floats, goes down in the river, that's what the fish eat, these dead bodies. Right? So there's a lot of misconception. Many people say, oh, fish is good for you. Red meat is not good. Fish is good for you. Have you ever heard that? Yeah, people say that. Ever hear that? Fish is healthy, right? It's the most unhealthy thing in the world. Oh, they have fish oil, yeah, as medicine. All right. Well, we're living in a what's called what is it? Dystopian world. Where bad things are right, and right things are bad. Any other questions? You have any questions, Radhika? Huh? Oh, okay. Radhika was a good girl. I was with her all day today. She's a very good girl. We went to some people's houses and things like that, and she was very well behaved. And now she's here, well behaved again. Look, she didn't even move now. She's a good girl. Okay, well, I won't keep you up too late, unless you have another question or a confession. No, I'm just kidding. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Always chant Hare Krishna and be happy. Hare Bol, Hare Bol.